Okay, so let me catch you guys up here on what's going on. Here. We've cut a big hole in the back of a car. First off, if you missed those videos, they're out there on the channel in the 35 Chevy playlist. But we cut that hole. We've got some metal welded and bent. I said in the last video, getting this to this lip right here, I had to weld a corner, a flat piece, bend a 90, weld it, get all this shrinking and stretching done all the way around this thing. And that's 24 feet of weld. So starting off this video, I had this big hole back here because previously I had this angled up. There was some kick up in the back of a rear cross member that I've since deleted off the car, but I needed to have that angle in here. So I come back, I've got this pretty flat now with the rest of the floor. So we gained a little bit of usable floor space. I've got to come in and cut out some little triangle pieces to put in here, close this out on each side, and then, man, a big old long weld seam there. We'll probably just use some foam in here, flutter foam, to go back in between the rear body and this to seal it up. I'll probably also come straight down with a few pieces to fully reinforce this rear lip, because it's still, if you were to hang something on it, you could bend it, and we don't want that. I think we'll get that done. I'm going to take a real serious look at getting a hinge pillar built here and start fabricating the inside of the door. So it may take longer than a normal video. This may take 2 weeks to get enough footage, enough good shots, enough silly stuff to be able to make it happen for you all. So, hey, let's get into it. There you go, guys. That is welded up. It's all really strong. This is actually 16 gauge. If you can go buy metal, buy clean, like hot rolled metal. It looks like this. It's got a mill scale on it. It's really hard to grind off. Works good for just building odd projects, but for doing paint and body work, you want to use cold rolled steel that doesn't have that mill scale on it. It's a silver looking metal when you go to buy it, not galvanized, but just cold rolled mild steel. little bit there. You saw me set these hinges up, tack weld them on, get this floor kind of ground smooth so I can not have to worry about hanging clothes up on dingleberries. You see, like you guys know, like anytime you have a small hole in a glove, like that hole right there, that's always where the sparks go. And they don't burn your skin, they burn your stinking fingernails, so that really hurt. But anyway, we got this set of hinges tacked in here. And I've taken my little torpedo level and I've set it down and kind of checked her out. And it's pretty close. I mean, the bubble is almost in the line. So that's not terrible, I don't think. The thing that I don't like about this is this hinge is so close to my actual door frame. I will have to build the inside of the door to clear this hinge. The bottom one, it's set back a good 1.5 inches, so I don't think it'll be too big of a concern there when we're talking about building our door. This one, I think I'm going to cut this square tubing off and then slide that hinge back to gain some room here, but still keep it in the same plane as far as up and down, because these things, they need to swing together on the same kind of plane. They don't necessarily have to be lined up perfect, because we can adjust the inside of our door to accommodate for this distance and length. And I mean, the body obviously is further in at the top than it is at the bottom. That's kind of why I picked right here to put the hinge. This will be about 1.5 inches or 1 inch below the back glass on the car is what I'm thinking. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm looking at it, just trying to figure it out. This piece of square tubing is not going to stay. I just have it tacked on these hinges to get them positioned where they look good. I can weld it in at the bottom. I can brace it at the top, get it to stay there so I can build my inner structure of my door. And then we'll take these pieces we cut out, bring them around, and we'll actually put this hinge plate in from the back side here. And yeah, so that's kind of where we're at. So I'm gonna stop a second, catch you guys up. You saw, like, I welded this piece in, spent all the time to get it nice and level or plumb and everything, and then I whack it out of there. Well, I needed to cut it out. You saw me take these hinges and cut them back. So now they're sitting inside of the door jamb. I was, you sit and you think about this stuff rather than just jumping in and doing things harshly. And I'm like, that hinge will be fine if it's cut off back that far. It still has enough of a stop built in it to keep it from springing open or anything weird. And then I did go and round me up a piece of metal to come in, and it'll weld into this back flange, I believe, is where I'm going to put it. And then that way it'll fit and those hinges will be in there nice. If I wanted it perfect, I'd come back and cut another piece, but I'll probably just lay a piece on the inside of that, weld it up. It'll be fine. I did come in with my marker and marked out, and then I got back inside of here and traced the inside of where this is so I can, we can get it to fit up nice, or nicer. You notice when I'm cutting on this throatless shear, I want my good piece of metal on the outside laying flat on this plate, because as I cut this, that metal on the inside is curling down and getting all distorted. And that's something you can see it's trying to right here, but I'm gonna hold it down and try to keep it as flat as I can. It's not vital, but we want it to be nice. I'm doing this with this tool rather than the plasma cutter because the plasma cutter leaves a ton of slag on there, and we want to avoid having to grind this another 100,000 times. So I am going to bring her up here, cut her off nice, and one more and we'll be done. I like this little stand. It seems kind of wobbly, I noticed with my shrinker stretcher in the video, but it isn't that bad, and it doesn't take up that much room. I just slip that back in behind there again. Yep, fits up good. Put that out there. That'll keep us from flipping out and falling all over the place. Yeah. Oh yeah. Pretty good down there. I believe we got a winner. All right, now, one more time to grind and clean everything up. One more time. Haha, the brace is out. Everything is in. I didn't film a few of the steps here. So I got this piece tacked in. I put our braces back in here. I put a piece of 1-inch square tubing right along the edge of this and just welded it around as much as I could. Welded it to this sheet metal. It's welded to the floor. It's welded to this upper piece here, which will get connected to this. So yeah, I don't anticipate them going anywhere. And you can see, like, learning along with me, these things, they have a super large box that's built around them, and you can just set them where you need them and then whack off the outside edge so that she fits in there how you need it. And then I'm just kind of, now I have this, I'll set my door frame in here, and then hopefully we'll figure out how to build it so that this bolts to the framework of the door before we put our skin on. Yeah, I've still got to come over here. Probably won't have to do that much building, like not that much, but we're going to have to build some structure in here for our door latch and all that stuff. So I think that's pretty good for a few hours worth of work out here. What do you guys think? Put it in the comments. Are we doing the right thing? Have I screwed up? Are there better ways to do this? Let me know. So you can see here, we got our hinges. I actually just took some metal and started sliding it in to see what all this was going to look like, how thick that door was going to have to be to clear these. And I did across the bottom, up the other side. It's just got like 4 or 5 tacks holding it in there, just to give us a visual of what this is going to look like. All right, well, after a good amount of playing around and a little bit of redoing some stuff, this is where we're at right now. Got this door frame where it'll actually swing open and closed a little bit. It still doesn't have enough welds or structure in it to really be strong, so got to be kind of careful because she's fragile. I wanted to show you all, I did make a mistake and I had to move this hinge down about a full hinge width. Yeah, I got it kind of excited as I was building all this. I welded this hinge in, and then a little bit later I started thinking there's a window in here. You better make sure that clears. And yeah, we missed it by that much. So I had to go back and remake a part, move it down a little bit. So we're a long ways from having perfection here. But like this thing will swing in here. That was my main thing, is I just wanted to make sure that as thick as this door is right here, show you all, as thick as this is right here, I wanted to make sure that all cleared the inside of that jamb, and it does. I put some light, this is like 16 gauge angle iron in here, just for something to reinforce these hinges, but like, I don't have any kind of weld or anything holding them in there right now, so I got to get them straight. I've got to tack weld them to this angle after I make sure we're good. I built this piece and then I had to come back and rebuild it because I had the door frame sticking too far in, and when I moved stuff around it ended up with a big gap by the hinge, and I didn't want that. So it's pretty easy just to cut 5 or 6 tack welds and go and remake a part if you need to. But if you get in a hurry, like I did on the hinges, and you weld it all together and then you find your mistake, well, it's several hours to go back and fix that. So at this point, we've got kind of our basic inner door frame built. Doesn't have to be anything super fancy. This stuff's all just going to have a flat upholstered panel on it. There's no moving glass. I do have to put this in here. It'll go in over here somewhere. Have to cut out a piece, weld it in. This is for our latch assembly, and then we have to build that whole pillar inside to hold the striker bolt. This is about as far as I could get in a weekend. Doing those hinges, man, that took a lot of time. It really did. And I figure doing the latch side of it is probably going to take an equal amount of time. But my thinking in this project is that I need to get this inner structure built so that the skin will sit on here. And I want my inner structure to hinge open and closed without hitting or anything before I start welding the outside of it on. I want to have a consistent like gap along there. You can see the bottom, it's about 1/4 of an inch in. That's not too bad, but we need like just the width of a piece of sheet metal gap there. And sure, we can come in and we can tune that edge up with a hammer and a dolly and get it pretty close, but we don't want to have to do any more than that than necessary. I mean, it is got like one chance to get it all set up and make it right. So I'm trying to do everything I can. I'm kind of learning as I go. I've built a lot of sheet metal stuff, done quite a bit of fabrication, but this is the first time I've cut the panel and turned it into a door. So, hey, I'm glad that you guys have stuck in this long. I'm going to stop the video here because got a really busy week and I don't know how much time I'm going to have to devote on this. The next video, we'll just continue on and try to get our inner part of our door finished, get our latch put in, our post in there and all that stuff. It may be a couple of weeks before I get all of that work done, so I wanted to have enough content recorded to be able to get a video out to you all. So, as always, if you like what I've done here, consider subscribing to the channel. If you know somebody that's doing something similar this could help, share it with them. And always, subscriptions are free. So please subscribe to my channel. I will catch you guys on the next video.